Big man, big CEO with me today, MALKI KAWA, the man in charge of Dirty Boxing. MALKI, how we doing, man?
Doing great, buddy. How are you?
I'm great. Good to be talking to you. I'm certainly a fan of Dirty Boxing. I've been to Dirty Boxing 2. It was an incredible show. August 29th, another big show just announced. I mean, how are we feeling about this card?
Oh, we're feeling great. Super excited about it. I think this show's going to be great.
And I mean, Jairzinho, the Wolf, we saw the bad blood there. Does this fight excite you a lot too?
Oh, absolutely. That's why we put it together. I mean, you can't beat when you have two guys that are heavyweights. They got some sort of pressure between each other that want to fight each other this bad. You know what I mean? So it was a fight that we had to make. It was a fight that absolutely I think is going to be off the charts.
And the Wolf says he thinks it might go the distance. Jairzinho says he's getting a quick knockout. Who do you agree with?
You know, listen, I'll put it to you like this. I'm hoping for a good fight. I doubt it goes the distance. They both hit hard. They both got good chins, though. I'll tell you like this. If it goes the distance, there's going to be a lot of, punches that have been thrown. And they might have eaten a lot of punches by that. But I doubt that either one of them is going to take multiple punches from the other and still be standing. I just don't think that's going to happen.
And I mean, the fight announcements have been coming out all week. Saw more today. Are the rest of the card going to be announced later this week? Next week, what's that looking like?
Oh, absolutely. The card itself will be probably fully out by the end of this week.
I have one question about it, just because I saw the Jessy Jess and Claudia Zamaro fight was announced, which is a great fight. But a lot of people were wondering, why not Paige Van Zandt, Jessy Jess versus PVZ? Is Paige still interested at all? Is that possible someday?
Absolutely. I think that's a fight that we have to make at some point. The problem is Paige was just dealing with a minor injury and wasn't going to be ready by now. So once this fight is over, we'll see what's next. But at some point or another, Paige Van Zandt will hopefully be involved in Dirty Boxing.
And I know that Paige Van Zandt versus Jessy probably would have been for a title. But regardless, I mean, how soon can we see more title fights get announced? If not for this card, soon enough?
It's a good question. So someone else asked me that same question. And my answer is still the same. As fights come up that make sense, where we can actually put title fights on, then we're doing it. So what I don't want to do is say, well, this guy comes from this promotion and was a champion or is a good fighter, so I'm just going to give him a title shot. Like Jairzinho came in, he beat somebody. The Wolf won 3 fights in a row, built them up. It just seems like the right fight to make right now for a title, because whoever wins that belt would be the guy that we would deem the champion of the division, and that we would put our next best guys up against to challenge for the title. So as fights keep coming up that are like that, we're going to keep making them.
In a perfect world, how many more cards do you think you guys have this year? This is already 3.
Right. Well, we're going to do one in August. We'll probably do one in September. We'll do one in October, November. Probably not do one in December, and then start next year off, and then hopefully hit somewhere between 15 and 20 shows for the year.
Ooh. And I was talking to Mike Perry last time. He said eventually he would love to go past Miami. Is that still in your guys' future, you think, getting out of Miami, expanding to different cities?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 1,000%. I mean, we're just in Miami. Here's the thing. You know what I mean? We're fight guys. So we understand what, promotion is supposed to look like, right? We've been working with the number 1 promotion in the world, the number 2 promotion, 3 promotion, and every promotion there is out there. And we see what everybody does good and what everyone does bad. And until we get that right combination of what we can do really, really great and different and make it and fine tune it to the point that it's perfect, then I'll start moving around. Until then, my hometown is Miami. We have a lot of the things that our resources are here, and we're able to do some stuff here that maybe in other places can't do it. Plus, our venue's off the charts. So if you've seen it before, the Hangar is just a cool spot, in Coconut. We're the first and only combat sport company to actually go there and put on a fight, and it's a beautiful spot in Coconut Grove, Florida. So for us, there's no real reason to leave right this second, but as soon as we're ready, we're out of here.
And you've been working with John Jones for a long time. Mike Perry, a lot of people know as Mike the Fighter. They see those fists fly. But what is it like working with these guys, like on the business end? Is it what you expected? Are they hard to deal with, just being fighters? Like, what are your thoughts?
No, it's actually been exactly what I expected. They're both very smart fight guys. They understand the game better than most. That's why they're, at the high end of their respective sports. And dealing with them on this, especially the creative, right? When you think about putting fights together and what fights to make and what fights not to make, those two guys are guys that you obviously, think about it. Hey, John, what do you think of this fight? Dude, I want to see that fight worse than anything. When the GOAT is telling you, I want to see that fight. I want to see Rob Perez versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I think that's the fight to make. How do you argue with that?
He knows what he's talking about.
So ultimately for us, right, when you got guys like that, right, and you got a guy like Mike Perry, hold on, and don't take that away from him. He's the chief violence officer, right? And I know that sounds kind of like, oh, you guys made up that name. He actually is super involved day to day, right? From a promotional standpoint, from a matchmaking standpoint, he legitimately has his hands in everything. So when you guys see something from Mike Perry, or let me say it correctly, you see something from DBX, right? And it might come from me, it might come from our publicist, it might come from social media, whatever it is, right? The truth is Mike Perry's involved. So they're heavily involved. They give their opinions. They tell us who, what, where, and when as far as certain stuff. We take their advice in some cases. We argue in other. I mean, everybody's got their opinion on certain stuff, but for the most part, they have been phenomenal guys to work with.
And I'll get you out of here in a few more questions, Malki. Appreciate the time. I am curious. This is the most journalistic question I'm going to ask today, and it's about Jon Jones,
Okay.
just because you guys, know each other very well. The rumor is, he's back in the testing pool. So I got to ask your opinion. Does he fight again? Do we see Jon Jones back in action?
I mean, listen, I don't even know why that question's being asked. Like, if the man says he wants to fight, he's gonna fight. You know what I mean? He has his way of doing things, and Jon Jones has been very consistent and stayed very, I mean, true to his word his whole entire career. So if the man said, I'm gonna fight, he's gonna fight. So the man jumped back in the testing pool. He didn't do that because he wants to be tested every week by USADA. He's doing that because he obviously wants to fight. So, like I always tell people, I tell this to my kids, go off of what people's actions are. Don't go off their words, right? So if Jon Jones said, "Oh yeah, I really want to fight," I can understand that people would have questioned it. But when the man jumped back in the testing pool and has publicly done nothing but talk about fighting, you know what I mean? His words are one thing, and I get it, right? But his action is, "I'm going to go into the testing pool." He's now in the testing pool. He could be tested tomorrow. So if all of that is happening, what does that tell you? He obviously wants to fight.
I got one more UFC question, and then I'll ask you one more dirty boxing, and I'll get you out of here. But many hats you wear. First round management is famously another one. Talk of the town right now is, after Max's big win, are we going to see Ilia versus Max for BMF belt? Does that make sense?
It all makes sense at the end of the day, man. Listen, Ilia is another fighter. If Jon Jones was retired and stayed retired, I'd be barking that he's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. You know what I mean? Hands down. And probably we are witnessing the evolution of a new GOAT, right? This next generation's GOAT.
Yep.
You follow me? Jon is kind of the guy that ushered in the new era, right? He's part of the old guard and the new guard because he's still here, 20 years later. But then I look at Ilia Topuria and I see like his rise, his meteoric rise to stardom, and the way he's up the pound for pound rankings, up the rankings in general, and you're witnessing something that's very special. And whether it's a BMF belt, a third belt, a fight with Patty, whatever it might be, right? Every fight he's going to be involved in is going to be a big fight. So this is must watch TV. This is must watch. I got to spend my life savings sitting in the front row to watch this guy. This is potentially the Mike Tyson of our MMA. You know what I mean? The UFC. You never had a guy just KO people with the way he's doing it. Guy that finishes everybody. You know what I mean? So when you look at it from that perspective, you got to realize you're dealing with somebody special. So whether it's the MF belt, a third belt, whether it's a defensivist belt, whatever it is, right? At the end of the day, he can do whatever he wants.
People are going to be watching, man. Topuria is certainly special. You put that correctly. And my last question is my most cliche question, but I really want to know your answer as a CEO and somebody so involved. How far do you think DBX goes, comparatively maybe to other promotions?
As far as we want it to. As far as we want it to. The reality of it is, I think we have something that's very, very interesting. I think the rule set is very. I mean, you listen. You tell me how far you think it could go, right? Ultimately, for me, you ask that question of any guy, they're gonna, oh, I was going to go to there. And you tell me as a fan, as a guy that's around the sports, combat sports in general, what do you? I mean, to me, this is probably the most exciting rule set that there is out there, right? And I think we have the right combination of everything you need for a fighter and for a promotion to make it successful. So, in my opinion, I think this thing goes as far as we want it to go.
I'm not trying to blow smoke, but I completely agree. Just from media perspective, the production value, the fans that were there, the stars, the influencers, the way you guys had media coverage, I think you're doing everything right. And I think the moon is probably go further than that as a limit. But Malki, my man, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Anything you'd like to say to all the dirty boxing fans out there?
Appreciate you for having us. Tune in August 29th, DBX 3. We're bringing you a title fight amongst other cards. We have over a 70% finish rate. We look to do better than that this next time out. Make sure you tune in. Thanks for having me on, my man.
Of course, August 29th. We'll see you there. Malki Kawa, thank you so much.